We're all about the Archers. I'm Philippa.
And I'm Katie.
And we are here to talk to you all about what's happened all of this week. We will be covering every episode this week, from Sunday night to tonight, Friday night. First of all, Katie, I should say, did you have a good Christmas?
I did, thank you. Did you?
I did. And it's just so exciting to talk to you about Christmas in Ambridge. We love Christmas. We love Ambridge. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Where to start? I mean, let's start with tonight, I suppose. Well, the whole week. Tell me thoughts, observations, faves, flops.
Rochelle is real. It was the biggest shriek ever on Christmas Day. That was amazing. Loved it. Yes, she is a real person. Wow. We've got a lot to unpack.
Yes.
She is real.
She's real, but she's very good at not answering questions, which would drive me insane.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, what do you think her story is?
Well, skipping a bit to a prediction straight away, I think she's a wrong un. I think the fact that the kids are with, who is it, Benny? I think the fact that the kids are with Benny and it doesn't seem to matter if she stays with Joy longer. They obviously don't live with her normally. It's not like, oh, the kids will be back with me next week or whatever.
Yeah.
She's perfectly happy to stay with Joy. So something's odd. So they obviously live with him. And she's changed her number, and Joy said something about he's still with that group and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's something dodgy. Because at first I thought, oh, she's not with Benny, so has he been a wrong un or whatever?
Yeah.
But no, I think from tonight, I think she is not a good egg.
And she seems more inclined to promote the good things that Mick's been doing rather than her own mum. It didn't seem that support for Joy, whereas she was very keen on Mick, which I wasn't happy with.
No, she's very odd. I can't wait to hear more. I hope she does hang around for a lot longer, and I hope more comes out, maybe at the Bull or something. If she's had one too many, she'll start to unravel and start saying things, or things will start to come out. So yeah, I like her, but yeah, she's
glad
not
to
good.
hear her. Played,
yes.
I believe, by Rosie Stancliffe. So yes, well done, Rosie, for joining the cast. Welcome.
Yes.
And I was glad she was still here tonight, because as of last night I thought, was she going to do a runner? But she's got to answer some questions, even if she doesn't give all the details. You can't sit there and say you refuse to give any answers. I just don't think that's right. So yes. And of course Jolene almost dropped Joy in it tonight. What did you think about that?
Well, I was very glad that Rochelle stopped the proposal happening, although I feel like she's going to egg it on completely, and the way she's going on to Mick, I feel like Mick's now going to propose. But yeah, I was very glad the proposal didn't happen, because Joy just needs to get away from both of them now. Come on, Joy.
Very stressed when Joy was trying to scrunchel up the joke and then had to make up a joke on the spot. There is no way under that sort of pressure that I could come up with anything. So I just thought, what is she going to say? But she managed it. But yeah, I didn't like the fact that Jolene just assumed it had gone well and Mick had said yes. No. And I thought then Joy was going to go and propose to Mick at the table. Oh. I didn't realise it was just no to cover the champagne and sort that out. So yes, that was...
Absolutely.
That was quite a thing. Any other faves this week?
I absolutely loved the choir on Christmas Eve. Wow. Because at first, because I'd written down in a flop, I was like, oh, I wanted to hear the choir. Because it was, I thought we weren't going to hear anything. Because I thought, oh, maybe it's going to be a celebrity choir. It's going to be something big. I don't know. But yeah, and then I thought, oh, we're not going to hear him. And then the piano started up the notes of Barwick Green. And I thought, oh, that's cute. They've just done a little piano Barwick Green to end it. And then they started singing Oh Little Town of Bethlehem to Barwick Green. Genius. Absolutely loved it. I was sat at Mum and Dad's and may have shrieked a little bit.
I was doing aggressive hoovering while I was listening. You know, when you want everyone to come and help you and they're not. So you do it really loudly and bang things in the hope that they get the message. And I shrieked, and my daughter ran in and went, "What's wrong?" I said, "Oh, it's just lovely. It's so..." I could have wept. It was beautiful.
I did blub a little bit.
And I thought it was some of the cast. I thought, I'm sure I can hear Alan's voice in that, but it's the BBC singers doing it.
Yeah,
So
it was magical.
and
That was lovely.
It was a bit weird to hear Brian refer to hearing the choir and it being the BBC singers. Felt like they were sort of knocking that fourth wall down a little bit. So that was that was a bit strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was such a highlight for me. I thought it was
Loved
absolutely
that.
Brilliant. Yes. Any
Yeah.
other faves?
I think Kate did a banging effort when I heard that it was going to be in a yurt. I was thinking, oh my goodness, just thinking what is going to happen. But she knocked it out of the park. I'm not always a Kate fan, but she did it. Yeah, she did a great job. Her little Swedish Christmas dinner was wonderful. I thought she did a great job. And those two little knitted ferrets in the oak tree.
There were no guided meditations.
No.
There was no vegan yoga, discovery surprise. It was, it felt like she was replacing Jenny in a way.
Yeah, new traditions, I think, because they were kind of alluding to it this time. I think today when Brian was saying about the fact that the Carters all seem a bit fragmented and everything, and they were talking about how they would normally do Christmas lunch with Jenny, and then Alice was saying, well, Jennifer had her kind of way of doing Christmas lunch, and this was a new way. So yeah, maybe they're building new traditions. But one of my flops was Brian seeming a bit lonely today. I didn't like that.
Right, it's Christmas Day and he's had some nice golf and he's invited round. Just going back to the Kate experience, I feel like Kate's more level, and I'm a bit sad about that because I like the ups and downs of Kate. And it just struck me that sometimes in the Archers, as residents of Ambridge get older, most of them tend to mellow a little bit more. Whereas I find in real life, the older people get, the more cantankerous and difficult they can be. So I don't know. Could just be me. But yeah, that was nice to hear. And you mentioned about Brian. I mean, this whole Brian and Eddie's chat in the van.
I would love to have seen Brian in that van. I just had visions of him not touching anything.
Yes.
Not even the door handle, nothing. I think he was just kind of, I'm not moving. I'm sitting in this van. I'm surrounded by dirt and cabbages and turkeys and feathers and goodness knows what, but I'm not moving.
But even despite that chat, Eddie then, it's a flop of mine, I'm fuming with Eddie this week. He didn't, despite him seeing all that he'd put Clary through, he didn't invite Neil and Susan round. So Neil and Susan went to a restaurant in Borchester. That's not on.
Odd.
I'm cross about that.
No, Eddie, this year, Eddie has just gone down, down, down in my estimations. Mm-hmm. I'm not an Eddie fan at all.
And you can't say a charity is buying another drone for George's. Yeah. No. And these VIP bags just sounded...
Magnets. Yeah. The fact that the VIP bags had magnets and stickers in. I could just see Brian with stickers and magnets.
Thank goodness the choir was so wonderful that it sorted it. Another flop for me was Mick's motorhome.
Oh, I've written a note that just says Mick and Joy Santa's Grotty Grotto. They can't have made that look good. It was awful. And then I couldn't stand it when Mick said that he wished Kenton had been a bit more patient. Sorry? No.
I thought Kenton had delivered the message quite nicely and had given
them... And it
had
been there a long time.
Yeah. And they mentioned that they decorated the grotto with bits of coloured plastic. That sounds so attractive.
Lovely.
And tat from Eddie Grundy. I'm sorry, but they are surrounded by farms which have outbuildings and storage facilities. So of all the places, if they were in a city centre, I could understand that there was nowhere else. But, you know, there's no room at the inn for a motorhome. That wasn't quite the Christmas story I was expecting.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm glad it's gone. But then that puts pressure on Mick and Joy working out.
Yeah, it does. But I am glad it's gone.
Yes.
Hopefully
absolutely.
Mick will be gone soon as well. With Rochelle. Bye-bye. Yes. I said it.
You did. I thought it. You said it. There we go. While we're on flops, any other flops?
I've got, I think we've pretty much discussed them. I've got the Eddie scam, the fact that a goodie bag is worth £10 with magnets in and stickers. Knitted ferrets. I'd happily have a knitted ferret. That's fine. Yeah, Mick's van, grotty stuff. Jolene ruining the proposal. I've also got Rochelle going across a fave and a flop. She's kind of in the middle of them two because it's exciting she's around, but not sure if she's going to be a flop.
The other flop of mine was Jolene agreeing to play the piano at the crib service, and just wondering, is she changing the Little Donkey song to "Oh my darling, my darling," with people on their triangles going along?
Absolutely. Yes.
It could happen. Okay, so we've done with our flops. Let's return to our faves. What else do you have?
The fact that Jakob can't stand Brussels sprouts. He is becoming one of my faves. Lillian better watch out, because Jakob is becoming a fave.
I love Jakob, but I love a Brussels sprout, and I have eaten about 50 of them today, so it's all good here. It's all good here. I thought, yes, Jakob was so sweet, just helping everybody and everything. What did you think about the chat between Will and Alan?
Interesting, the fact that Alan's trying to get Will in there a little bit, and I think it would do him good to do the garden and things like that. And yeah, it doesn't have to be religious and everything. It's just more of a community thing, isn't it? And helping with that side of things rather than it being a religious specific thing.
But Will's not... He's quite mad, really, that George is not talking to him either, and he doesn't understand why. And I mean, I'm presuming it's just George doesn't want anything to do with any of them, really. Yes, Emma in particular, and the Carters, but I think it's just any adult.
I'm glad he's keeping in touch with brothers and sisters and Poppy and Mia and all of that lot, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure who his visitor is. I've got, again, going forward to predictions, I've got who's visiting George. Is it Clive? And also, is he hanging out with Marky? Because Marky was brought up again. Because Kenton had said about the fact, because where the grotto was where he'd been attacked. And he said something about the fact that this was where the dog attack was, but Marky's still in prison doing time for something. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, so is that going to carry that storyline on when George gets out? Is Marky going to be involved with George more? Which would be interesting, because otherwise that dog storyline is completely gone. And what was the point in that? Apart from doing just dogs. Exactly. So,
yes, maybe it's been Rochelle visiting George. You never know. I think she needs money, so I think she's back for money, but never mind. And the village shop was open on Boxing Day. Wow, if I'd known...
Only place in the country.
Yes, exactly. But never mind. So that all happened. Yes, so I think we have covered all my faves as well. Let's come on to your star of the week. Who is your star of the week and why?
Star of the week is Jakob again, because he can't stand Brussels sprouts. I loved Paul's comment, "Oh, you're getting better at small talk," which I thought was wonderful. He was just lovely with Alice and saving the day with the organ for the church services. And just Jakob being Jakob and dealing with Kate still. Even though she's mellowing, still got to deal with Kate. Yeah, Jakob is becoming my fave. Yours?
Yes, he's mine as well, for playing the organ so beautifully, making small talk. He likes a sci-fi film, and he was very good with Murphy, the horse who was injured.
Yes.
So that was all good. Predictions, please.
Yeah, so Rochelle, I've got so many notes about Rochelle. It's almost like one of those criminal things on the board where you're trying to solve a murder. Just got all these lines everywhere. But yeah, I still think Rochelle is a bad un. And yeah, there's so many things where she's changed the number. What group was she with? And the kids must live with Benny. The whole stuff about who's visiting George and who's talking with George. And is Alice going to get this new job and leave the stables? So is it going to... Oh, mine's gone blank. Who was the woman who was taken over from... Carlotta. Was it Carlotta?
Carlotta, well done. Clip. I just think clip-clop. Yeah.
Yeah. Is she going to come back? Because we never heard from her anyway.
Yeah.
But is she going to come back to the stables? And how furious is Justin going to be if Alice is kind of, bye then? After Lillian really fought for her.
It sounds like
And
she's
Cookie,
not going
interesting.
for it. It sounds like she's going to prioritise the most spoilt child in Ambridge, aka Martha. Never mind.
Yeah.
But yes. Oh, interesting, Katie. Very good.
Yeah.
One of mine is that Rochelle and Chris are going to get together on New Year's Eve, because often New Year's Eve there's a big event. So I don't know if Rochelle arriving on Christmas Day means we've got no event on New Year's Eve. But yes, that could happen. And my other prediction is that Eddie Grundy will make separate roads through Ambridge, so that one is for the Grundys and one is for the Carters, and they never have to see each other. But that's it. That's it for this week. Now, next week, I will be with Quentin and we will be recording on Thursday. Can't do Friday because I've got a pantomime rehearsal. Yes, I am Linda Snell.
Oh, no, she hasn't.
Oh, yes, she has. And we can't do Tuesday because it's New Year's Eve. So we're going to be recording on Thursday and that will go out straight away. And then we'll be back to Tuesdays as normal. So until then, so goodbye from me. Oh, and a very happy New Year.
And a ta-ra from me. Happy New Year too.
Goodbye, everyone.